1.5 Part 2, Adding Fractions. First, some introductory knowledge. 2 books plus 3 books equals 5 books. 2 books plus 3 pens equals 2 books plus 3 pens. You cannot add these because they're not the same. The first one we had books plus books. Now we have books plus pens. They're different. You don't add them together. What about 2 sevenths plus 3 sevenths equals 5 sevenths? You can add those together. They're the same. So we write 2 over 7 plus 3 over 7 equals 5 over 7. What about 2 sevenths plus 3 fifths? You cannot add these because they are different. 2 over 7 plus 3 over 5 do not add. To add and subtract fractions, you must have common denominators. This means the numbers at the bottom must be the same. What if 3 people shoot some free throws and you count how many each person made? Person A made 20 out of 40. Person B made 10 out of 20. Person C made 15 out of 30. Who did better? They all did the same. Each person made half their free throws. Even though they were not written 1 over 2, each of the fractions still equal 1/2. How do we change a fraction to an equal fraction? First, let us see if some fractions are equal. Does 1/2 equal 1/4? No. Half of something does not equal having a quarter. Half a dollar is not a quarter. Does 1 over 2 equal 2 over 4? Yes, having half is the same as having 2 quarters. Remember, a fourth is a quarter. Okay, like a fourth of a football game or a fourth of a dollar is a quarter. So fourths, sometimes we say quarters. So 1/2, half of a dollar, is the same as 2 quarters, 2 fourths. What is another thing that we must know before we get started? 5 times blank equals 5. What number must go in the blank for it to be true? The blank must equal 1. Why? 5 times 1 equals 5. Why is this important? When we change a fraction to get a common denominator, we can only change that number to an equal number. What can you multiply something by and still have the same number? You can multiply by 1 and it is still equal. One last thing that we need to know. How does a fraction equal 1? A fraction equals 1 if the top and bottom are the same number. 5 over 5 equals 1. 7 over 7 equals 1. Why is this important? Because multiplying by 1 gives you the same thing. Anything times 1 equals itself. Now we will put this all together. Common denominator equals a number that they can both go into. You can always multiply denominators to get a common denominator. Common denominators can never be smaller than the original denominators. Okay, you can't go smaller. It's got to go into. 2 over 3 plus 4 over 7. What is the common denominator? 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, so the left fraction has a 3 on bottom, so that means we need to multiply 3 times 7 to get 21. Whatever you multiply the bottom, you also multiply the top. Why? Okay, you see that 7 over 7 that is in bold? 7 over 7 is really 1. Why is it important that it's 1? Because we're multiplying 2 over 3 times something, and it needs to be equal to 2 over 3. Okay, it needs to be the same amount. Just like if you wanted to break a $20 bill, you might get two $10. $2 $10 would be 20. You wouldn't change $20 for something that wasn't equal. Okay, so that's why we have to multiply the top and bottom by the same number. Okay, so let's look at the 4 over 7 on the right. 4 over 7 has a 7 on bottom. We need it to be 21. So we're going to multiply by 21. Multiply by 3 to get 21. So we're going to multiply top and bottom by 3. So 3 over 3 times 4 over 7 is 12 over 21. Okay, you multiply straight across. 14 21ths plus 12 21ths is 26 21ths. Okay, remember, if you had $14 plus $12, you would have $26. Okay, it wouldn't become something else. The bottom stays the same there. 3 over 5 plus 2 over 3. The common denominator is 15. 5 times 3 is 15. So on the left fraction, multiply the top and bottom by 3 so that you get 3 times 5 is 15. On the right fraction, it has a 3, so we multiply it by 5 to get 15. So 3 over 3 times 3 over 5. 3 times 3 is 9. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 over 5 times 2 over 3. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, notice I put in bold what you're multiplying in. 9 plus 10 equals 19 over 15. 4 over 5 plus 3 over 10. Now, you can use 50, but that's bigger than you need it. You can use a common denominator of 10 because 5 goes into 10. Okay, 5 goes into 10 2 times, so that means we're going to multiply 4 over 5 times 2 over 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. The right fraction was already over 10, so you don't have to do anything. 8 plus 3 equals 11 over 10. 3 over 4 plus 1/2. The common denominator is 4. They can both go into 4. They've got to go into it. So the left stays the same. The right had a 2, so we need to multiply 2 times 2 to get a 4, to get our common denominator. So 2 over 2 times 1 over 2 is 2 over 4. 3 plus 2 equals 5 over 4. That's the end.